Now I know Charles, right? So, that's pretty good too. I don't know. Maybe Ray Charles is even better, right? I don't know. But we appreciate the great job you've done. Thank you very much. I want to start just by saying that we've had 3 devastating major hurricanes that hit our country within a month's time. It's never been really anything like it. And in the case of Texas, it wouldn't even go away. It would come in, we thought it was gone, it would go back out, it would reload, and this happened 3 different times, Brock. That was a record raindrop, that was a record water drop on a state, and it wasn't even close. And shortly thereafter, we dealt with the threat of another hurricane and then destructive wildfires along the West Coast in California and other places. America has never experienced so many large-scale disasters in so short a period of time, and we have the most qualified staff between the Secretary and Brock and all of your people. You've been fantastic. And it goes a little bit unrecognized because all you do is see people fighting and working and getting the fires out and the water off the land and all of the things. But believe me, the country has watched and they've seen an incredible job what you've done. Our entire government leapt into action to coordinate the response along with the state and local leaders. And we did have a lot of help from some really great governors, Florida, Texas. A lot of great people helped us, and it was great. Families in Texas and Louisiana, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, they were all affected. Hard to believe. And on tribal lands where the hit was catastrophic, and these storms were really historic in their severity. But in the wake of such tragedy, we also witnessed the resilience of the American people and the professionalism, talent, and devotion of the men and women of FEMA. Good group, right?
Great group.
That's a great group of people, and throughout our government. Last year, more than 17,000 FEMA and other federal employees, as well as 14,000 personnel from the Department of Defense, National Guard, were deployed to support the massive response and recovery efforts left by these storms and these tragedies. Administrator Long, I want to thank you in particular for the incredible job and the unbelievable teams of men and women that you led to take care of these problems. You have done a job. They're talking about you all over. Don't leave us, though, okay? Just relax.
Oh, he's here.
In fact, we could have put him in a different position. We didn't want to. We want him right there. It's not an easy position. But you have really stepped forward, and we appreciate it. I also want to recognize the Coast Guard, our other military services. I have to tell you, the Coast Guard saved 16,000 people. What do you think of that, Ben? 16,000 people. And I think, honestly, they don't get enough credit in many ways. Mike made the commencement address this year at the Coast Guard Academy. I did it the year before. I don't think the Coast Guard gets enough credit. I've said it, and I even say it to the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. I said, I think this year the Coast Guard, maybe in terms of increased branding, the brand of the Coast Guard has been something incredible what's happened. Saved 16,000 people, many of them in Texas for whatever reason that is. People went out in their boats to watch the hurricane. That didn't work out too well. So I just want to thank all of the people in the Coast Guard and all of our services for having been incredible. The National Weather Service, the American Red Cross, been amazing. State and local governments are brave first responders, law enforcement, always law enforcement, and so many others who came together to save lives, restore hope, and rebuild our communities. As we enter the hurricane season again, here we go, right? You ready? But we're entering it. This is it. We are marshaling every available resource to ensure maximum preparation for rapid response. That's what we had last year. Disaster response and recovery is best achieved when it's federally supported, state-managed, and locally executed. You agree with that, I think, Brock, right?
Yes, sir.
This is really the great model that we've built, and there's no better model anywhere in the world. And we do help other countries also when there's catastrophic events like in Mexico and other places. We're always there. We're always there for them. So I look forward to your briefing, and I look forward to a very productive discussion. It's an honor to be with all of the great people that work so hard in the Trump administration And Mike, I'm going to ask you to say a few words, and thank you for having done a great job.
Thank you, Mr. President, and it's an honor to be back at FEMA with you and the First Lady, and to have you assemble your entire cabinet here at the outset of the 2018 hurricane season, I think sends a deafening message across America that we are prepared, just as we were last year with those historic and unprecedented hurricanes, the wildfires in California and elsewhere. And Mr. President, I know you well, and I know you have no higher priority than the safety and security of the American people. And I suspect that assembling the entire team here gives evidence of that priority. I want to thank Secretary Nielsen and Administrator Long for the extraordinary work they did last year and the work that they have done since to make sure that we have the resources and we have the team on the field to be prepared for whatever 2018 has in store for the American people. I also want to commend all of the agencies represented here for the job that was done last year. The President and the First Lady saw it firsthand. Karen and I saw firsthand the extraordinary, at times sacrificial efforts made by public servants here at FEMA and all the broad range of agencies that address those 4.7 million Americans that ended up requesting assistance. And I also, on the President's behalf, I want to thank all the states that are represented here and really commend the extraordinary partnership on behalf of the safety of the American people that we saw both in rescue, repair, recovery, and rebuilding. And the President particularly wanted me to thank governors, many of which are joining us online by video. He mentioned Governor Rick Scott, Governor Kenneth Mapp of the U.S. Virgin Islands, Governor Ricky Rossello of Puerto Rico, Governor Greg Abbott of Texas, Governor Roy Cooper of North Carolina, Governor Phil Bryant of Mississippi, and Governor John Bell Edwards of Louisiana. The governors who are with us this morning, your teams who are with you should know that this President and our entire administration are grateful for the full partnership on behalf of the safety of the American people in the midst of last year's historic storms. And at the President's direction, our entire administration is committed to building on those partnerships this year to be even more prepared. And as a former governor, I know, Mr. President, how much that means to these teams at the state level, to see the way FEMA has forward deployed in many states, personnel and resources to be prepared. But it's all reflective of the priority the President has placed on preparedness and being ready for what comes in the 2018 hurricane season. So with gratitude to the team at Homeland Security and at FEMA, with gratitude to all of our agencies, notably the Coast Guard, another shout out, and to all the states well represented here, on behalf of the President, thank you. Thank you for all you've done for the American people, and we will be working every day in 2018 to see to the safety and security of the American people going forward. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mike, very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.